I'm Chris Chisler with EbonyBird.com. The Baltimore Ravens spent the entire offseason fixing the defense. The defense was already pretty good. They finished in the top 10 in the 2016 season. If they didn't play the prevent defense in their final showdown with the Steelers, they may have made the playoffs. So they signed Tony Jefferson. They signed Brandon Carr. The secondary should be fixed. Pass rush and inside linebacker being the only holes that really remain on the defense. But the offense is a mess. When you look at the Ravens offense, you see an offensive line that is missing the right tackle, that's missing the center, and it's missing pretty much anything that qualifies as a real deal at the playmaking positions. So here's what I think the Baltimore Ravens need to do, and I think they need to do it desperately. Jonn Ross is the Baltimore Ravens pick at 16. And the reason Jonn Ross is the Ravens pick is because the Ravens' best receiver right now is Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace at best is a speedy number 2. Brashad Perryman is an ambiguity. Who knows what you're going to get out of him moving forward. Jonn Ross is the most underrated player and probably the most misunderstood player in this draft class. You see, Ross is that guy who runs that incredible 40, and he gets labeled as a speed guy. Well, you know, there's a lot of speedy receivers who can do a lot more than just run go routes, and I think Jonn Ross is one of them. If you look at Jonn Ross, if you watched Washington at all this season, you understand that Jonn Ross's upside is to be an Antonio Brown-like player. You hear 5'11", you're thinking, oh, too small. Well, the things have changed in the National Football League. You don't need to be 6'2". You don't need to be 6'4". Yeah, Corey Davis and Mike Williams have advantages that Jonn Ross doesn't, and if the Ravens had their druthers, they'd probably take Corey Davis, but that's not going to happen. So Jonn Ross comes to Baltimore and is an instant star because who else is going to take targets away from him? The Baltimore Ravens offense is horrible right now, and it needs some help. They need offensive line. They can get that later. Antonio Garcia in the 3rd round, sign me up. The Ravens need pass rushers. Tyus Bowser in the 2nd round, sign me up. But you know what? Even Tim Williams in the 2nd round is a possibility. But you know what I want? I want a receiver. The Baltimore Ravens receiving core has never been their strength. They've gotten guys later in their career, Anquan Bolden, T.J. Hushman-Zada, Derek Mason, by the way, probably the best receiver in Ravens history. But they've never had a young stud in his prime go-to wide receiver. Jonn Ross is going to fix that for the Baltimore Ravens and give the fans something they finally need. A player on offense you can actually wear the jersey of. Yes, we all have Joe Flacco jerseys. And I still wear it proudly because, I mean, he is the most winningest quarterback in playoff history for road games. He's won more road playoff games than any quarterback. He might not be elite, but you know what? He's won a Super Bowl for us, and he's been a Super Bowl MVP. So, but we're so frustrated with Flacco. And we should be. He's underperformed, and he has a huge contract. But guess what? Here's the deal. If you don't give Joe Flacco a weapon, you can never really know if it's a Joe Flacco problem or if it's a Ravens problem. If you give him the weapon and then you build the offensive line later in the draft and Joe Flacco stumbles and bumbles, well, then you know it's a Joe Flacco problem. If not, it's just another year of a Joe Flacco excuse. And that will drive us all crazy. So that's really all I have for you guys today. Jonn Ross is the only option, with Hassan Reddick being the only non-receiver that I would even consider off the board. Hassan Reddick, the outside linebacker from Temple, he's the only guy who's not a wide receiver that I would even consider with the 16th pick. He's off the board. So with that being said, Jonn Ross is the pick. And you can follow me on Twitter at FootballMan58. I encourage you to go to EbonyBird.com, where we are all over the NFL draft in a Baltimore purple and black point of view. And follow at Ebony _bird on Twitter. And that's pretty much all I have for you today.